were here 3 years ago, I'd be the glummest, unhappiest, and probably the least accomplished person in this room. That's me right in the middle. You see how happy the other two guys are? I'm that really unhappy guy who's trying my hardest to smile. I had a C average and had this really arrogant friend who kept showing off to me, saying, oh, how stupid I was. And that day I sat down to myself and wondered, maybe it's not that I'm not smart enough to take the initiative to work harder. Perhaps it's my foundation. It's how I think. Throughout the past 3 years, I've explored more and more into this foundation of thinking that I like to call the entrepreneurial mindset. And here I am, much more happier, much more energetic, and relatively much more accomplished and visionary. And today I want to share with you the same tools that I've used to unlock my potential. Vision, value, and learning through both experience and mentorship. Since we're so uncomfortable with the unknown and the risks, we let the status quo set these fictitious constraints in our thinking. Tell me, how many of you, raise your hand, have been told that you can't do something? Yeah? How many of you have convinced yourself that you can't do something? Yeah, that's right, because I've told myself a lot of times. And the thing is, next time I want you to keep asking yourself the question, why? Until you no longer need to answer yourself anymore. It comes down to two things. One, I can't do it just because I don't think I can. Two, I can't do it just because I don't think I can again. It's just that one little excuse that you always tell yourself. Do you know why people perceive entrepreneurs as very special people? It's because they have such a high tolerance for the risk and the unknown that they don't let the status quo set these bogus constraints in their thinking. When I was 14 years old and I just entered high school, I enrolled in a high school program for kids to start and run a business for 6 months. And that was my first year in grade 9. I didn't know anything about running a business. I didn't know anything about leadership. And I ran for the position as the president and CEO of the company with about 40 kids. And my friends, teachers, and even the advisors told me almost the same thing, is that, James, don't even try. You're not going to win the grade 12s well. But guess what? I persisted, I worked hard, and I got that position. And now 2 years later, I'm working with the same organization to build, pioneer, and lead a national ambassadorship program. So next time, when someone tells you that you can't do something, as long as it's legal, I want you to look at them in the eyes and say, just watch me. Many entrepreneurs are asked the same question. Why do we do what we do? Many of my mentors, I have 4 or 5 that I'm in constant communication with, as well as myself. We focus on breathing life into people. What does that even mean? Breathing life into people means value. Entrepreneurs are people who create value from scratch. And this is what drives me. The ability to create impact and establish an emotional connection that no piece of clothing on its own could ever do. This is breathing life into people. This is value. As my mentor, Yannick Silver, says, that the only way to enrich yourself is to enrich others 100-fold. And it touches the heart and the soul, and that is its richest value. And for example, where would I be without the mentorship of Michael Hyatt? Every time I come out of a meeting with him, I learn something that will take my business leaps forward. But sometimes it is kind of difficult because he doesn't cut too much slack and has been known to nail me right to the wall. And I remember so vividly, 2 months ago, I came out of an advisory board meeting with him. And I was so embarrassed and so depressed that I just want to quit the business because he shot so many holes in my business model. But now, 2 months later, we now have a branch in British Columbia, Toronto, and Nova Scotia because we applied his advice. So my advice for anyone who wants to be successful is to find as many mentors as will take you on. You will learn something different every time. It takes vision, value, and a thirst for learning to be an entrepreneur. But let me make something very clear here. Entrepreneurship is not a sexy game. There'll be times when you'll be depressed, you'll be disheartened, and you'll feel like giving up. People will ask you these questions. Why are you even doing what you're doing? Is it even worth it? But my answer has always been the same and will always be the same. Not only is it worth it, it is the only way to unlock your full potential and to give you limitless opportunities for success. Thank you.